Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? Today, we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The third installment of my Star Wars reviews. This is the third installment of the Star Wars prequels, and in my opinion, this is the best of the Star Wars prequels. Now, I'm going to start with the bad things and the good things. This one is really in the middle for me. I do like this movie, and there's some things in there that I really don't like at all, but I do like it though. There are good, more redeeming qualities in here than there are in the other prequels, in my opinion. Now, to start on the bad things, General Grievous right off the bat, I did not like him at all. I didn't like him in the Clone Wars anime series either. I just didn't like him at all. I don't like him at all. He's a really boring character. I hate his cough. He just doesn't, to me, he just seems like a kiddier down villain. And it just kind of disappoints me because I feel like he could have been like, an interesting character. Like a half cyborg, half kind of like a pre-Darth Vader. I get that. I get him being like a pre-Darth Vader. He just got thrown in here just to show CGI effects and to basically show we want to fight some big CGI monster that's almost like Darth Vader. So I didn't like General Grievous at all. Now, something else too in this one that really didn't change at all from the rest of the prequels is the relationship dialogue between Anakin and Padme. In my opinion, there's just no chemistry at all with Anakin or Padme. I feel like they're just literally just forced dialogue. It's really cringy dialogue sometimes to listen to. You are so beautiful. He really did say that in there. You can go look at it. It's so bad the way how their dialogue is with each other, and even the way how it's written too. Like, I feel like if any actors or actresses were in there and they were saying that dialogue, it just would not come across good at all to me. It just didn't work. It didn't work for episode 1 with younger Anakin. It didn't work in episode 2. Definitely did not work in episode 2 at all. It was so cringy to listen to in episode 2. Episode 3, it still just doesn't work at all. George Lucas, I feel like, just doesn't know how to write love stories at all, or love dialogue. And it's just not a strong suit. I know that we get this in the Clone Wars series, and I love the Clone Wars series. The Clone Wars series is amazing. You should go check that out. I think that the Jedi and Clones relationship here wasn't really shown as much. I feel like they could have shown a little bit more of the Jedi and Clones relationship. They're more like brothers in arms, like how they show us in the Clone Wars series, but not everyone watches the Clone Wars, so it would have been nice to have their relationship in episode 3, or at least in episode 2, in that one too. It would have been nice just to see their relationship more fleshed out, see Cody more, have Captain Rex in the prequels. I feel like we would have gotten to see, these were the brothers in arms with the Jedi who end up betraying them, and they're the ones who killed the Jedi and betrayed them. I would have liked that a lot better, but no, we don't really see as much of the clones. We just know that they're there. Speaking of the clones, I know that Order 66 happened and it was a really good scene and all, but I just wish it was more explained about the inhibitor chips that were in the clones' minds. I know it was already shown in the Clone Wars TV series again, like they showed everything, and I love that series, but it just didn't work out, I feel like, as much in the episode 3, mostly because most people, again, don't watch the Clone Wars series, and they don't understand what the clones are doing, because a lot of people I know, especially friends, didn't really understand why the clones betrayed them, and I kind of explained them. I was like, okay, well, there's inhibitor chips inside them, and basically controlling them, that Palpatine is controlling them through the inhibitor chips, and I really like that whole aspect of it, but I wish it was brought into the movies more. We would have had more depth into what they actually were doing and why they betrayed. And let's just be completely honest here. Anakin's seduction was really poorly executed. He just gets basically drawn to the dark side and just so easily. Like, Palpatine gets him so easily. He chops off Mace Windu's arm and then just lets Palpatine kill Mace Windu, and then he just goes, well, fuck, I guess I'll join you because I have nothing left to do, when he could have just killed Palpatine, maybe, and then he would have gotten rewarded by the Jedi and possibly put up there where Mace Windu was in the Jedi Order if he killed the Sith Lord. So really, I don't understand his whole thought process through all this. It was really quick and just like, boom, like that, like real quick. Don't understand it. It's really confusing because you're just sitting there and thinking, why is he not just kill this Palpatine right then and there, then say Palpatine killed Mace Windu? I don't know. It doesn't make sense at all. It really doesn't. It's like, you don't need to turn to the dark side. Leading into that, the whole reveal of Darth Vader's name. Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader. Thank you, Master. Alright. That's, your name has literally no meaning at all. The most baddest of the badasses in the entire movie history just gets his name, I guess you will look like a Darth Vader. I'm gonna give you Darth Vader. That's your name, Darth Vader. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. You were thinking that this whole time, like, oh, Vader has some kind of meaning towards the name. No meaning at all towards his name. It's just a name he gives him. That's it. One of my biggest gripes with this movie is that we don't see Anakin kill really any Jedi. No, he doesn't kill any Jedi at all. And it's like, you think that he killed Mace Windu. No, he didn't kill Mace Windu. He just cut off his hand, and then Palpatine killed him. We don't see Anakin kill any Jedi. We see him walking up to the Jedi Temple. We see that scene starting with all the clones walking behind him. And you're thinking like, oh yeah, here we go. We're going to see Vader kill the Jedi. And we just cuts it right there. Just like in episode 2, when we almost see Anakin kill the Sand People. He cuts away, and we don't see it. It's like, oh, come on. That's like the biggest, every time I watch that movie, that's the biggest letdown, because you're watching the scene building up to it, and you're thinking, like, okay, here we go. Alright, we don't see it. And we only see the clones kill the Jedi, which is still cool in his own sense, but it's still like it would have been so awesome to see him kill a Jedi. We even almost see him kill the younglings, and then they cut away right after that, too. Right when he's about to kill the younglings. It's like, why? That would have been a great scene to show. Like, it would have shown us that Vader is as fucking baddest of the bad. But no, we don't see it. We don't see it at all. And it's really confusing that we don't see it. I don't get why we don't see it. It would have really helped the movie out a lot, I feel like, if we would have seen it. Even impacted, I think, the whole Star Wars universe and the whole saga, in my opinion, if we would have seen that. Would have impacted it more. And showed it got impacted more of what Vader is and what he did before all this happened, before A New Hope and all of that. It would have been great to see. One last thing, too, that I just completely don't like at all about this movie is the whole death of Padme. I thought that was very, very poorly written. It could have been written so much better, but no, they have her die by a broken heart. Really? From a broken heart, that's how she's gonna die? I know that there's some rumors out there that, you know, Palpatine really killed her and all that, which I do kind of like. I do kind of like that. We don't see that in the movie. We just see her die from a broken heart, and it kind of sucks that that's the way how she dies. I think it would have been better if she would have died when Anakin was choking her. She would have fell and probably hit her head or something like that. No, we get that she dies from a broken heart. And I feel like that was just a very poorly written and poorly executed and written thing for her to die from. I think that it was really bad. One other thing, too. Why the hell is Vader saying no at the end? It would have been so much better, like in Return of the Jedi, when Vader just sits there, looks at Luke, looks at the Emperor, and then picks the Emperor up and throws him. You just see the anger inside of Vader. Looking all the things, he's throwing shit across the room. We see his anger through that. Instead of hearing his stupid, no! Hey, why was that in there? I know I already said all about the bad things I don't like about it. So now here we go with the good things. And this one I am really excited for because I do like a lot of things about this movie. A lot, actually. Even more this time around watching it, I like. The whole opening scene. I completely love that opening scene. And for when we see them in space and that whole space battle going on, I think that is one of the best opening scenes in any Star Wars movie, actually. It is so well made, well directed. I think the lines between Obi-Wan and Anakin in there were great. I thought that we was so awesome. We're seeing a little bit of the Clone Wars happening that we were told about in the original Star Wars. We're finally seeing Jedi actually fight and being Jedi, doing Jedi things for once. I completely love the opening scene. And as I just mentioned, the acting in this thing is so much better. The acting is done way better. Hayden Christensen actually proves himself this time. I feel like, okay, now I can see you as Anakin. And I love the age of Anakin, that he's finally the Anakin that I've always wanted to see. This is the Anakin that I think should have been in Episode 2. Now we're seeing him in Episode 3, which is great. Hayden Christensen proves it to me. Now I can do Anakin Skywalker, and I like it. I love that you can see the kind of him a little bit getting on edge, a little bit turning. You can see the turn within Hayden Christensen's performance, and I love that a lot about it. I really appreciate it. The thing that this film does a lot better than the rest of the prequels is that the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin, right off from the bat, you can tell that their relationship is so much better. Oh, that they are actually brothers in this one, that they are friends, that they fought with each other for, not fought, that they have been fighting side by side with each other through all these years together. Like, I think the Clone Wars have been going on for 4 or 3 years. One of those, 4 or 3 years, one of those, just someone correct me. It's been going on for that long. And we know that they have a friendship that they have that brotherhood friendship that we were always told about. And you can finally see it there. And there's actually good dialogue between Anakin and Obi-Wan. Especially in their final confrontation when they are the final kind of goodbyes, what I say it. When he says, "May the Force be with you, old friend." I love that exchange with each other. I thought that was written so well and executed so good by the actors. They did a great job executing that whole scene, and they did a great job executing that whole scene, and I congratulate them on that because it was great. Probably some of the best scenes, I think, in any of the prequels. Not the best scene in any of the prequels, but one of the best scenes in the prequels. The visuals in this movie were amazing, I thought. I thought the visuals were so much better. Though we do have still basically everything in this movie, I think, is CGI'd. But still, I think it was still done pretty good. Even though I would prefer more practical effects, I think the CGI in this does make up for the non-practical effects in here. And I think they did a lot better job than how it was in Episode 2. That opera scene with Palpatine and Anakin, oh, it was so beautiful. I think the opera scene is the best of the best scenes out of the whole prequels. Even in the top 5 best scenes of any of the Star Wars movies, I think. Ian McDiarmid's performance was just so beautifully done. And I actually thought that Hayden Christensen's performance with his reaction to what he's telling him was done really good too. And I thought it worked out so good. It was honestly actually is my favorite scene in the whole prequels. Just when he's telling him about Plagueis and how he can manipulate the midi-chlorians to create life and how he can save life. And then how he mentioned that little tease that his apprentice killed him in his sleep, which leads into the Plagueis novel, which is probably the best Star Wars novel ever made, in my opinion, where it explains how Sidious killed his master and all that. It was just a great scene, and I love it so much. I really appreciate that whole scene. One thing I really do love is that march up to the Jedi Temple. I thought that march going up to him with the music playing, and you see the silhouette of Anakin walking up there with the clones beat right behind him with his hood up. I thought that was just such a beautifully, beautifully shot scene. And it kind of sucks because after that scene, it kind of goes down because then they don't show what it's leading up to. But I think the lead up and the build up with that scene, it was just done so good. The visuals on it were so beautifully done. Like, I would have that as my wallpaper on my phone or on my computer. I thought that scene was shot so perfectly good. Let's talk about that battle between the Emperor and Yoda. That was just amazing, I thought. I was so awesome. We finally see Yoda and the Emperor facing each other. Oh, it was so awesome. Every time I watch, I'm at the edge of my seat, just like, just so good. It's just a good scene. You finally seeing Yoda in his prime, the Emperor in his prime, duking it out. The Emperor shooting his electricity out of his hand. Yoda blocking the electricity, flying backwards. Sucks Yoda lost the fight though, but still, I thought the whole scene was so good. So good. I loved it. Minus Yoda jumping all around and everything, but minus all of that, I thought the scene was so good. At Yoda and Emperor fight, let's talk about that Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. Now this has been the fight we've been waiting for forever. Ever since fans watched them back in the original trilogy. This was the fight that they've been waiting for. This was the fight I was waiting for as a little kid watching episode 1 and episode 2 and then the originals. What happened with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader? What happened with Darth Vader? Why is he all burned? Why is he all scarred up? We finally get the answer to that. We finally see the fight happen. Even though I think the fight gets a little drawn out and goes a little too overboard, I think the core of it was just so good. One of the best Star Wars fights that we've ever had. The choreography on this one was done so good. It was just one of the greatest fight scenes in any Star Wars Star Wars movie. It was the greatest one, I thought, and it was just done so great. I love the ending with Anakin burning up with his legs chopped off, and he was looking at Obi-Wan, and he tells him he hates him, and Obi-Wan tells him, "You're my brother, Anakin. I loved you." And it was one of the most emotional scenes ever, because you finally are seeing that brotherhoodly connection that they had in this one. You're finally seeing it, which I think should have been already established in the past prequels, but we're finally getting it now. And it's just a hard scene to watch when Anakin's burning up and you know what he's about to become, and he's screaming for Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan picks up his old lightsaber that you know he's going to eventually give to Luke. I love that tying up when he grabs that lightsaber and you know that he's going to give it to Luke. It was just a great scene, and then you see Obi-Wan sitting in there, and then Padme asks Obi-Wan, "Is Anakin all right?" And Obi-Wan just kind of shakes his head and just looks down. It was one of the best scenes, I think, in the whole prequels, too. In the whole prequels, not in the whole series, but in the prequels, that was one of the best scenes ever. As a whole, I think Episode 3 is definitely the best of the prequels, but it's still not the best Star Wars movie. There's still a lot of problems with it, a lot of stuff I would do differently. But at the end of the day, I sit back and I'm like, wow, I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed Episode 3. I really throughout enjoyed it. Not my favorite Star Wars movie, not even one of my favorites, but I really enjoyed Episode 3 a lot. For scoring the Revenge of the Sith, I'm going to have to give a 7 out of 10. Yes, 7 out of 10 for Revenge of the Sith. Now, next on the chronological order, we're going to be going after Solo. And I cannot wait to talk about Solo. Remember to like and subscribe for more. See you guys later.